So when Jesus was walking on the planet and he comes like to set the captive free, to die for the sinner, and he comes with all this incredible truth that he's dropping around on people, and it's like no one not, stuff people have never heard before, and he's gaining and increasing a following, and there's some religious leaders that are in power, and they're power hungry people, and they don't have their eyes on the Lord, and so they're constantly opposing Jesus. They're constantly in conflict with what's happening through the God man as he's walking on the planet, and they're trying to stop it. And they've tried a couple of times using their own wisdom, if you will, and thinking their own intellect that they would be able to challenge him. People they've defeated before, and every time, man, he's just slammed them. And so they came up with a plan. Luke tells us about it in Luke 20:20, and it says that they kept a close watch on him, and they sent spies among him. And so they had people that were acting like followers that were hanging around, and their whole objective was to see if he said something that they might be able to use against him and hand him over to the authority. So they were trying to find things that they could spy out and see if he said something wrong or said something that they knew wouldn't be popular, and they could sort of frame him. And that got me to thinking about, man, a lot of people, I think, they stumble and they get tripped up in this idea of faith and taking a step of faith toward the Lord. Is that if you start functioning as a spy in the midst of Jesus's what Jesus is doing on the planet, then you're always going to be looking for what's wrong. You're always going to be asking questions about things that you don't like, questions that you don't understand, and you will really, if you think about this, you'll see that people will begin to um, frame things that are wrong with God to keep them from following him. And so what they don't realize is they're in a power struggle, the same power struggle that the Pharisees were. They want power over their own lives. They don't want to yield to Christ as Lord in their lives. And so they, as spies, seek out things that they don't understand, and that somebody that maybe is following Jesus isn't well versed enough in their theology to explain. And so they say, well, why is there evil? Why does God let bad things happen? And if a person there that's trying to help them find their way to the Lord, and they're sincere in that, but they don't really know how to answer the question, then a person who's operating more like a spy, looking for things to say, see, that person can't give an explanation, and that's why I can't follow God. And so here's what I want you to hear is, man, like you're doing great damage to your soul by functioning as a spy. Like you gotta put that away. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't have questions. I'm not saying that. Like the Lord loves questions. And the more questions we ask, the more truth I think is revealed in our lives. Man, I've been following Jesus faithfully and passionately teaching his word for about 30 years now. And I'm still asking questions, but I'm getting a greater revelation because I'm trusting that the Lord is going to show me the answer. So I don't come as a spy who says there's already a problem with the way God does things. I come to the Lord and approach him with, there's a problem with me. What does the Lord say about this thing? And that allows the truth to penetrate my heart and illuminate some areas that may seem dark to me. And so just be reminded, man, like if you struggle with this thing called faith and there are some things tripping you up, are you functioning like a spy or somebody who's ready to surrender to Jesus as Lord? Because as a spy, you're never going to get to where the Lord wants to take you. It is only when you come to a place of surrender and trust in the Lord that he can take you on a journey and begin to stretch your mind. Like Jesus doesn't expect you just to make an emotional commitment. He says that the great commandment is to love God with all your heart. So there is some emotion, some commitment on the seat of our emotion, all your mind. So there's intellect. He wants to answer your questions so that you can love him with your mind and all your soul. So don't be a spy. Make sure you're one who surrenders, and you'll find that he indeed is the one who loves you.